So what is our, and you're going to know the answer immediately, number one recommendation, first thing to anybody when they want to lose? Like, what do we ask them? Hey, I'm Jessica Goins. I'm a nurse practitioner and owner of Optim Life Health, and this is my husband, Bradley Goins, co-owner of our gym, Going Strong Fitness. And we're going to talk today briefly about diet and how to simplify that, and I guess we'll just go ahead and get started.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay. So, I guess a lot of questions we get are what diet is best, and I think that's very broad. So when somebody stops us and asks us that, they hold us up for about an hour.
Right.
So they typically ask us about carnivore, keto, things like that. So why don't you talk a little bit about
paleo,
carnivore?
There's any number of names. You put names on it.
Yeah.
There is no like best diet. It's like, what are you going to stick with?
Right.
That involves high protein, not protein shakes, whole food, meat, eggs, fish, Greek yogurt, non-fat, no sugar added, stuff like that. Whole foods, high protein, and then whatever amount of energy, calories, carbs, and fat, I think that you need, what you're going to stick with long term.
Well, wait, I want to talk specifically about carnivore. That's what I said.
Well, you mentioned all of them.
I know, but I said I want to start with carnivore because that seems to be, I want to talk about that and then what we recommend. So
Right.
I want people to come to me and say, I've been doing carnivore. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Okay.
I think it's awesome. I think you agree because we know people, multiple people. I know people anecdotally on the internet and just following carnivore diet. Have done it myself back in 19?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 5 years ago. Barely anybody was talking about carnivore. I did it and lost so much weight so fast that I'd quit.
Right.
Because it was kind of restrictive and I didn't want to stick with that.
I struggled with it, yeah. And I eat more nuts than I should have.
Well, carnivore, you're not supposed to have nuts.
Right, but I did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because nuts cashews are addictive. But
Why is it good?
carnivore, because carnivore eliminates all the processed stuff.
Right.
And it gets you to a base of protein, which I have harped on ever since I was 14. That's all I've done is every meal and snack is protein. I'm not just grabbing a banana. It would be a banana and a yogurt or a banana and a protein shake. Like
So carnivore is eliminating all of the processed stuff, which can cause inflammation.
Which is why keto works. That's why when people say, oh, I went vegan and I lost a bunch of weight, it's like, well, you went vegan and you eliminated a lot of processed crap from your food or from your diet.
And then meat gets the
and you lost, and then they blame me as like some taboo thing.
Right.
So, meat by itself is healthy. We've eaten it for thousands of years. It's not like, the first thing you're going to do if you're starving to death in the wilderness is try to kill an animal or catch a fish. You're not going to dig up a mushroom unless you're just starving. Like, you're going to go eat plants when you're like,
oh, look, I found some
oh,
Cheerios.
I need something in my stomach because my hunger is so, like, you're going to be wanting substance. Because the only place you can actually get all the vitamins that you need, if you really break it down, is like beef. Like, if you ate beef, you're going to get and especially liver. You can just eat, parts of a cow, red meat, and get all the vitamins that you would ever need from that.
Right.
So that's why carnivore at a base level, you're not going to have nutrient deficiencies, because if you're eating red meat, if you're adding in things like liver, which we human beings have eaten for thousands of years, we just in the last 50 years decided that it was gross. That's like nature's multivitamin. So at a base level, you're getting everything you need from one source of food, and that's pretty much the only place you can get it. You can't do that with a vegan diet. You can't do that with, can't do that with a plant-based diet in general. You can't get everything. You're not gonna get enough protein for sure.
Right.
So you're getting a lot of protein, which your body needs for hair, skin, nails, recovery, muscle growth, or muscle maintenance. So carnivore at a base level gets all that. Plus, you're going to control your blood sugar because you're not eating a lot of sugar.
Right.
So somebody that's diabetic, somebody that wants to drop a lot of weight real quick. We have a member at the gym who's doing carnivore, has been doing it for months. He loves it. And it's like, I told him, like, just keep doing it, man. You've lost weight and all his blood markers have gotten good. His blood pressure went way down. What do you tell somebody? Like, if all your health markers have gotten drastically better and you're how can you say it's bad?
Now some women like it. Like, you can't say all women, but some women like it, but some women don't. I feel like they struggle a little more. They want a little more carbs or whatever. So in that case, I'm like, well, if it works for you, it works.
And I love carbs too.
Right. So so can carnivore be good? Yes. But do we say, oh, one size fits all?
No.
We never do.
I don't think of it as a long-term diet. So, I think of it as a reset diet.
Right.
If you're having like stomach issues and stuff,
right.
Like try that for like 2 or 3 weeks and then start adding stuff back in.
See. Now let's touch on keto. What do you like about that? What do you think can be improved?
People eat too much fat on keto.
I agree. If you have a lot of fat to lose, there comes a point to where you need to.
You have a lot of fat on your body already. So you don't need to add fat.
So yes, like the focus we believe should be protein as always.
Yep.
And the focus should not be just fat. So it's like if you've got like 100 pounds to lose, you need the protein.
Yes.
Yes, you need some energy source, right? But it's like,
you
need that much fat?
If you're eating if you pick the right foods, so again, like with carnivore, you can eat eggs on carnivore. So like with keto, like my philosophy is I don't even add fat to my diet pretty much anymore.
Right.
I just eat my whole eggs. I eat beef. I don't add peanut butter to my diet to get fats in. Like I would just eat more eggs. There's a lot of vitamins in the yolks, and so why do I need to add a bunch of fat to my diet if I have some on my body?
Right.
It's gonna. So any fat that I eat, if you're on keto, if you're eating 200 grams of fat per day, your body has to burn through that before it ever gets to the stored fat.
Right.
Just because you're burning fat doesn't mean it's burning your body fat. It's burning the fat that you ate.
So they may initially lose a lot of weight because they've drastically changed their diet by cutting out all that other.
The 20 pound.
Then they may stall, and that's because they're getting too much fat.
Well, if you're eating a high carb, highly processed diet and you switch to keto and it's whole food, you're going to have like an inflammation and water flush that ends up being more water than anything. You're not losing 20 pounds of fat, right? You can only really physically lose a pound or two of fat a week.
1 to 2,
a week.
Right.
So, keto is good. It's just what happens is the mistakes that people make is they're adding butter and crap to their coffee. Like literally I've had conversations with people. I'm like, why are you adding junk to your coffee that you shouldn't? Well, I got to hit my fat macros. And I'm like, no, just don't.
But are you hitting your protein?
A bit of fat that you add that's extra like that, it's not really. So it's like they hit these stalls. Like I had a weight loss stall, I lost a lot of weight initially. It's like because you're eating too much fat.
Right.
You're having to burn through that first. Because I did one of my bodybuilding shows I did with keto, only keto. And I was eating 200 grams of fat per day, training 6 days a week, and I had a stall.
Right.
When I took the fat out, weight loss just real quick. Went down to like 100 grams of fat.
Right.
No carbs, almost no carbs, and then fat started flying off.
So we find that typically versus sticking to just carnivore or keto or anything like that, it's kind of like, what does the individual person like? Like what foods do you enjoy? Because there's no point in me recommending things to you that you don't like. So we have to say, you've got to find protein that you like. It's pretty simple. It's like eggs, fish, beef, chicken, yogurt, a protein shake if you have to boost your numbers for that day. So it's like the list is pretty simple. So you start there. Then it's like, what are your goals? If you've got a lot of fat to lose, well, you still need some carbs. I think that it's great to have some carbs for your thyroid health, for your brain health, all that. So it's like, how much activity are you having? We have to take that into account. So we look at all those things, and so we go from there. So really, we keep it simple. It's like protein at every meal and snack.
Yep.
And then you have to have a little bit of an energy source, so to speak. Like, so if you're eating more fatty meats, like, not I won't say fatty, but if you're eating eggs and beef, you're getting more fat in naturally than just chicken or whatever.
Right.
So it's like yeah, you might need a little, maybe just a half a cup of rice or something. Maybe you need a little bit of oatmeal in the morning. Maybe you
Yeah.
cut out your carbs after lunch and you just eat vegetables. Maybe, you know,
Right.
there's different, but it's simple. It's simple. So we find ways that to keep it simple, but you enjoy the food that you're eating.
Yeah. I think for most people, that a high protein, low-ish carb, minimal, when I say low-ish carb, I mean 100 carbs
Or less.
or less.
Depending on the size of the
A
person.
big man who's
Right.
kind of active but wants to lose weight, maybe 150.
Oh, and they'll freak out. They'll say, wait, but I'm trying to lose weight. I can eat these carbs. I'm like, if you stick to these particular carbs in these amounts,
Yeah.
yes, because it's not eating bags of chips. It's not eating fast food burgers. It's not eating that biscuit at Bojangles.
If you don't mix a lot of fat
Right.
into, what happens is people eat, well, I got my carbs and my fat macro. Like, no, quit adding fat. Like, quit cooking with oil, cook with a little bit of spray just to keep it from sticking. You know, if you eat an Oreo, you're getting sugar and fat together.
Right, right.
But a lot of the processed foods we eat are sugar and fat together.
Or you go eat Mexican, which is high fat, high carb.
Yeah,
usually.
and it's cooked in oil. When you
Right.
go eat and you get grilled chicken at a restaurant, it's got oil on it, sorry to tell you. And it might have 200 or 300 calories worth of fat
Easy.
added onto it, just coated on the meat. And you think you're eating healthy, but you're adding all this
Right.
extra calories. People forget about that.
And let's do this now. We like to start with habit replacement. Like,
Yeah.
you've got some habits, so like let's try to start there. So what is our, and you're gonna know the answer immediately, number one recommendation, first thing to anybody when they want to lose weight? What do we ask them? What are you
Are you drinking sugar?
what are you drinking?
What are you drinking?
What are you drinking?
Yep.
What are you drinking?
Yep.
So
Eliminate all drinkable sugar.
you know,
Sweet
we
tea.
don't get hardcore. You know, we get hardcore on getting your protein in, but the number one thing we get hardcore on is we have a no tolerance policy for drinking sugar.
Eat your calories.
Yeah, you don't want to just drink 500 plus calories at one meal, so or any time. You know,
Diet soda. I don't care what anybody
I
says
think
about.
we're probably going to do this on every podcast. I think
I'm
we did it
gonna.
last time.
I had Coke last time. This is Pepsi. So I think it was on sale or it was cheaper at Sam's Club.
We don't discriminate. We just like zero
But
sugar.
any diet drink is fine. Aspartame, be danged. Who cares?
Water is best.
Being
but
overweight-
whatever is gonna
Being
get
overweight,
you to-
but being severely overweight because you have
Right.
a drink problem is going to cause diabetes and cancer long before anything with aspartame is ever going to bother you.
Right.
I won't get into the studies about aspartame, but it's way overblown. And you Gold Peak sweet tea, zero sugar. They make stuff like this if you're a sweet tea junkie, because everybody's like, I can't give up my
I
sweet
don't
tea.
like the taste of Splenda though, or I don't like the taste of stevia.
I can't-
Well, I mean, you know, something's got to give, and there's no the sugar and the empty calories from that are not even filling you up.
You're not digesting it.
Yeah, and if you go to a restaurant, they just keep refilling it. So if there's one thing that we can harp on, it's to cut out the drinkable.
What's raising your blood
Sugar, yeah.
sugar? You're going to crash. You're not gonna feel great. You're probably not going to burn it off, so it's going to get stored as body fat
Right.
fairly easily. Unless you're a very insulin sensitive person, like a bodybuilder,
Right.
like me, I might actually absorb some of that into the muscle tissue, but that's not most people.
Right.
So you just store it as fat.
So let's just recap here. We want protein at every meal and snack.
Yep.
So like usually 20 to 30 grams at a snack, 30, definitely more than 30, like 40 or so at a meal, depending on the size of the person, their goals, all that. Most people need minimum 100 grams of protein per day, minimum, like hit that.
A woman needs
Yeah,
minimum 100.
minimum,
A
yeah.
man minimum 150. That's just a general
Yeah,
term.
that's just general. Like you could
That's a
have way
general-
more. We're saying minimums here. Just
I ate 300, but
Yeah,
that's
I ate
besides
200,
that's
yeah.
besides the point.
so that, and we focus on nutrient dense, like real food. I
Yep.
said the protein list:
Meat.
eggs, beef, chicken, fish, yogurt, and I mean Greek yogurt that's high in protein and not a
Greek
lot of sugar.
yogurt, non-fat, low
get a
fat.
like if you
No
need
sugar.
a little bit more boost, you know, a whey isolate or something like that. You
A
don't
whey-
want something with a lot of additives like sugars and carbs in it.
Whey protein or a Fairlife protein shake
that
with
was
no
fine.
sugar added to it. That's the
Right.
only drinkable calories
And
you
then
should have.
there's one more thing besides just working on small habits, replacing things. Because you don't have to be perfect. What you do need to try to get is that protein in every day. You're going to mess up here and there, but the protein's number one. But there's one other thing you can do to help with all of that, and that is weight training.
Yeah, well, so add in some resistance training. Gosh, a minimum, like if you just go 1 time per week.
Stimulate your whole body.
And you did, something for your legs, like a leg press. I don't care who you are. I mean, I don't care what kind of, well, I don't have time, or I had this injury. It's like, get on a leg press. Get on a leg press, do a set, rest a minute, do another set, do 3 sets for each body part, at least. At the very minimum, you're going to get to 80 years old and you're not going to die of sarcopenia or muscle loss. You're not going to fall and break a hip. I mean, like, because there's a study where like they did 1 set to failure of elderly individuals. This study's been out there for years. Once per week, 1 set, and they doubled their strength in 8 weeks. And it's like, well, that's all you need to do to keep from deteriorating into nothing.
So it's stimulating your muscles.
Right.
It's helping increase your metabolic rate. It's helping with your bones. It's helping your body process the foods better. It's making you more insulin sensitive.
Right.
It's just overall.
Right. Now that 1 time per week is not going to help you get as insulin
that's your starting point.
That's your starting point.
That's your starting point.
Now I train 6 days a week, so I'm very insulin sensitive because my body is constantly.
Most people could benefit from 2, 3, 4, anywhere in that range. I always start low because I'm like, if we can start low, then we can build. I never want to start with a high number and then they miss a day, which makes them maybe fall off the wagon. I like to start low.
I think if you're 1 or 2, my philosophy is like, if you're 1 or 2 days, it needs to be a full body workout each time.
Sure.
So let's say Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, you do a full body routine, hit every muscle. And then the other days you just kind of walk or do some cardio or go outside, go hiking, whatever you want to do. Just you need to get the resistance training in,
Okay, so I think to make it shorter and sweeter today, we've already did our recap. So protein's number 1, don't drink your sugar, get some resistance training in, and just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. And if you have more questions, you can always reach out to us at either Optimum Life Health or Going Strong Fitness, and we are always happy to help.
Yeah, swap out your regular sodas for diet soda.